inducting into the friend category, Mr. Scott Dorsett.
Nothing tougher than going last with this group of men for today, so that's ain't with me. It's a real honor to introduce the Waxahachie Hall of Fame inductee, Scott Dorsett, to you tonight. Just out of curiosity, kind of like James did, can you just raise your hand if you've ever been photographed by Scott Dorsett? Thank you. You know, I was in 7th grade the first time I saw myself in a Waxahachie Day life. And Scott Dorsett photographed that. I was a 7th grade track athlete, and he caught it just in mid-stride, just like you see a classic hurdle picture. And mid-flight going over the hurdle, and I remember seeing the picture for the first time and feeling embarrassed, you know, and then feeling kind of special, and then trying to figure out why did this guy take my picture? You know, what was so special about me? And I think all of us can remember that first time, that first opportunity we had to see ourselves in a photo with an accomplishment, or our grandchild, or our own children, or just a friend, or just a family. But Scott doesn't only capture moments, but he evokes emotion both from the person in the picture and the observer. Scott has been quoted many numerous times saying, it's what's on the other side of the lens that's important, not me behind it. Scott's son Logan, a Texas Tech student currently, couldn't be here tonight. But he shared with me and gave us a rare look into Scott, the man behind the camera. Logan goes on to say, every night when he would come home from a game, I would ask my dad if he got any good pictures, and he would casually tell me no, but I never believed him. But he said one night a fellow photographer asked him, why is it you don't care that kids post your pictures without permission? And he had to tell me the story, that he was quite confused by the question because it wasn't the mindset that he ever had. He proceeded to tell me that this wasn't about money or recognition, because he loves what he does. He continues saying that he understands that the large majority of these kids, they don't have the money to buy these pictures. It's about their accomplishments and what they do on the field and nothing else. He goes on to say that I have seen firsthand how much he puts into what he does, both at the Texas Department of Transportation before he retired and shooting pictures now. He tells me regularly, work hard in silence, let your success do the talking. And this is something that will stick with me forever. I'm overjoyed to see him being recognized for what he does because his success has done the talking, and tonight he finally will be recognized. This has been the epitome of leading by example. For that, I'll always look up to my dad. Scott's servant leadership extends well beyond his family and his community. It extends into the families at Children's Medical Center of Dallas, something that many people don't realize he does currently. The Pauline Allen Gill Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders is a temporary home and often last stop for incurable patients and their families. Heather Smith shared this with me and these thoughts on Scott's selfless contribution to them. She says, each year families are invited back for a special day so we can all remember their loved ones together. A few years ago, we asked Scott to interview families about their journey and create personal videos. We also gathered photos of these beautiful children, which then Scott produces a memorial video to present at the ceremony. This is probably one of Scott's most difficult and heart-wrenching events, but it also allowed him to see firsthand how his work is a priceless treasure to these families. Scott has returned each year to make an unforgettable video of our families, and everyone absolutely loves it. Scott's a proud graduate of 1976 from Waxahachie High School, and he has a great perspective because he was a tremendous athlete himself. A high school tennis player who went on to play collegiate tennis at San Angelo State University. And you know, I'm not going to list the dozens and dozens of accolades and recognitions and awards that have been piled upon Scott because, you know, really, frankly, he doesn't remember them, and nor does he care to. But I suspect somewhere in those memories, is probably the same one that he had in high school after winning a match and going to run over the net, but falling on his face instead and not making it to the other side. So the story goes. In 1979, Scott landed his first photojournalism job at the Waxahachie Daily Light as sports photographer and worked alongside the all-time great sports writer, Bobby Howard. It's been said that on overnight trips, Scott would sleep on the floor covering his head while Bobby snored. It was Bobby's words and Scott's images that made magic for readers. Many of us in here remember Scott said he perched up at the top of the dugout with that hinged screen, with a hole just big enough for the lens to go through. One of my former teammates says, Scott has provided a pictorial history of Waxahachie athletics for decades and appears to be willing to do it for many years to come. It's like there are 4 or 5 of him. I don't know how he manages it to get to all of these athletic events, but he does, and he never complains. Scott is an integral part of Waxahachie ISD athletics and is well deserving this award. I can't think of a better friend to WHS athletics. To the many of you out there that raised your hand earlier, as a parent, as a friend, as an athlete that's been photographed, we're going to forget the names. We're going to forget the awards. We may even forget, well, Eric won't forget the non-3-point shot that brought you back into the game. But some of those things are going to be forgotten. But the things we won't forget are the way Scott Dorsett makes us feel when we were on that picture, in that paper. Please welcome to the podium, Scott Dorsett.
Waxahachie was, I think it was John Tyler, for it was a non-district game in the state championship here. It was just a tune-up game. Waxahachie went to Tyler, and I just remember it was a close game, and it's the game drew near to the end. The chair flew across the floor.
Something like that.
Is it sort of how it went?
Yeah.
I didn't get a picture of it because it happened so fast, but I just remember the chair and Greg running, the referees running, fans running. And, that showed me the intensity that those guys had. And like I said, I don't think the game counted for anything. They just did not want to lose. Absolutely did not want to lose. I want to thank Ken Gartless tonight and the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for tonight's honor. It's special for me on many, many levels. To be the first journalist inducted into the WHS Athletic Hall of Fame is testimony not to my work at all, but it's a direct reflection of what a community newspaper should be. Neil lacked wherever Neil is. Neil instilled that in me 20 years ago. And I think it's something that we try to do every day. It's representing Channel Life on each and every one of the athletes here. And for Neil, I appreciate that. You care for him. A couple of groups who've helped me on this journey. The first one is first and foremost my family. John and Kennedy, Logan couldn't be here. My mother and father-in-law and my sisters are here. And that makes it very, very special because, as Greg alluded to, you can be in 4 or 5 places, but you can't do it without a support group. And these guys have been that support group, and they've been there the whole way. Both of my kids have gone through WISD's athletic and every one of us has done it. When you leave your kids in their hands, I don't have a worry in the world. They're going to get the right, they're going to get the right discipline, they're going to get the right education, and they're going to learn sportsmanship, and that's important. And again, I do appreciate the support that they've given me over the years. But everyone in this room tonight is here because of a very, very simple reason. And you think the obvious answer would be skill, dedication, and hard work. And those would all be correct. But the simple reason is that someone, somewhere, believed in you. Someone mentored you. Someone told you you could do what you didn't believe you could do. It might have been a parent, a teacher, a preacher, or a coach. But someone with a servant's heart touched you. Someone like a Buddy Osford, Jimmy Ray, Hayden Cantu, John Nichols, Jack Aldridge, Bill Mickey, or John Kidna. May have been an aunt and uncle, could have been a sister, but somebody pushed you to be better than what you thought you could be. But the facts are never more true in life than an athletic life. Direction, mentoring, and showing a servant's heart are at the core of the success of every student athlete. It's that attitude combined with some of the best raw talent in Texas that has made Waxahachie a legend. I've just been lucky enough to follow the bus to the games. So in closing, I want to thank you for tonight's honor. And I want to leave you with a quote from Robert Louis Stevenson. And this applies to all of us here tonight. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seed you plant. Thank you to those who bless this crop of athletes and coaches. And thanks to those who continue to plant the seeds of faith and success in tomorrow's athletes. God bless you.